Hey everybody, it's Michelle, and welcome to another day in the life with me. Today's video is going to be the final look using the Norvina Volume 1 Purple Palette, and I'm actually going to talk more about my heart issues. And remember, we have used a lot of the palette. These, excuse me, are what we have left. So I'm going to try to create one cohesive eye look using all of those shades. We'll see. We'll see. And if you don't remember what the palette looks like, here is the palette in all its glory. So remember, we're going to use every one of these bottom colors. This brown here, another shade in this row, I think it's this gold, and B2, this brown. So that's what we're going to do today. And like I tried to do in the first video, I'm just going to tell you the number of the color, I guess, and then we're just going to keep on going. I believe I left off with, I wasn't really able to do a whole lot when I was younger. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back and watch the video for the first episode, or the first two looks, doing the wheel 6 or 74. That will start you off with where we're at now. I'm going to start with, I'm actually going to use C1 even though it's already been used. It's that white, just to lay down a base, because I did just put my new eye primer on my eye. I will have my project pan listed down in the description box below. There's also a video that went up today, which is Sunday the 20th of August. Yes, Sunday the 20th. Wasn't filmed today. It was filmed about a month ago, but you know, I'm working on it. Then I'm going to go in with E3. It's like a mustardy, dark mustard yellow color, and I'm just going to lay that through the crease. So as I had stated before, you know, when I was younger, I wasn't able to do a whole lot because of my heart condition. So, you know, as a young kid, I was actually underweight. Surprising, I know, but I was underweight as a child, and you know, I would get tired easily, I would get worn out easily. I still played, but I wasn't really allowed to play hard. Now I'm going to go into C5. It's like a reddish brown color. Yeah. Just going to tap that here through the crease as well. So, you know, I wasn't able to do a whole lot because of my heart condition. Ooh, it's pigmented. And, you know, that just kind of made me feel some sort of way about myself. You know, I wasn't able to do the things that the other kids were able to do. I wasn't able to keep up with my older brother. You know, I always felt like I was left behind, kind of. My mom tried really hard not to treat me differently. It happens, you know, it happens. You know, I was different. I wasn't your normal, you know, 5, 6, 9-year-old. You know, I wasn't able to do the things that the other kids were able to do. You know, no one else in my grade or no one else at my school, you know, had to go and spend a day to 2 days in Ann Arbor every single year having tests done and ran just to see where you are and see if the surgery is working and if you're progressing. And you know, most kids just went to the doctor for their annual visit. It wasn't called a well child back then. It was an annual visit, and you went if you had insurance. We had government insurance because my mom was a single mom raising 2 kids in the projects of Flint in the 80s. You know, she did what she could do. Now I'm going to go into E5 and darken up the outer part, I guess. So, you know, I had to deal with that stigma. Granted, my scars weren't visible, so, you know, none of the other kids knew why I wasn't allowed to play. They just knew that I wasn't, they were not allowed to roughhouse with me, I guess is the word. So, that was that. You know, went on. Like I said, as I got into my teen years, you know, I developed early. And doctors, all they wanted to talk about was my weight and how my weight was going to do this and my weight was going to do that. And, you know, it still kind of is the same way today. I have certain doctors that are like, well, if you weren't overweight, you wouldn't have your heart condition. Yeah, I would. I was born this way. It probably wouldn't be as exacerbated as it is. And I completely understand, completely agree. Okay, I'm now going to switch to a different brush. Not that brush. Not that brush. That brush. More of a dense brush. Excuse me, and I'm going to go in with E4. It's an orangey red color. I'm just going to add that here. So, you know, that was that. We stopped going shortly after that, just because that's all they wanted to do. They wanted, I would go there, you know, I would have the tests. As I got older, I don't want to say I wasn't treated as well, but I wasn't treated as gently, I guess, because I was older. You know, I was like I said, like 12. I know that I didn't go anymore after 12. But I wasn't treated the same. You know, before they would be very gentle and like explain things so that I wasn't afraid. And, you know, I understand that I went through all of this stuff and had been going through all of it my whole life, but it doesn't matter. You know, you're a child. For me personally, I would block that stuff out because the tests and everything were very overwhelming. I'm going to go into E2 now. So the eyes are going to be a little different. And, you know, I would go and have, you know, of course, every visit I had an EKG, which back then the EKG was a lot more invasive than it is nowadays. Now you just get stickers put on you, and it does take longer to actually get you hooked up than it does the test. It did back then as well, but back then it was not just stickers. You would have to have this goop in these little suction cup things, and if you moved, the suction cups would come off, and the technician, depending on the kind of day they were having, would get angry because you moved and the thing came off. And you know, the technicians were not always the best. I mean, they were good at what they did, but their bedside manner wasn't the best. Okay, I'm going to take E1, and that one I'm going to put over here. So, you know, as I got older, like I said, we just stopped going because it wasn't really doing anything. I mean, they were checking to make sure everything was progressing the way it was supposed to, and, you know, it started getting more expensive to go down there because, it, like I said, it would take at least 1 to 2 days each time we went. And now I'm going to take B2. It's a brown, darker brown color, and I'm going to put that out here on the outer portion. And then I'll find a different shimmer to put in the inner. So, you know, we just don't mind the nails. Don't mind the nails. So, we would not actually get any answers. They would just say, yep, she's progressing. She needs to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to do C2. I'm going to put that in the inner corner. Whoa. Whoa, Nelly. Add a little bit of that over there as well. And my mom just got tired of us going down there and not really having any benefit to us going down there. You know, it was, Miss Prier, your daughter needs to do this. Miss Prier, your daughter needs to do that. You shouldn't allow this. You shouldn't allow that. And I think my mom just got fed up with it. So, since we had stopped going, you know, I didn't really follow up. I believe I probably had a regular family doctor and would go see the family doctor and stuff. And obviously, you had to like go and get your shots. And there were certain shots that I couldn't get. And then there were shots that I would have to get that other kids wouldn't have to get. My immune system is low. Always will be. And, oops, dang it, oh well. So, you know, we would go, and every time it felt like, I always felt like I have, well, let me back up. I used to think that every time anyone went to the doctor, there would be, it wasn't just one doctor. It wasn't ever just one doctor in the office with you. There were always 2 or 3 or 4, or they would say, we're going to bring in another student to come and do this and do that and listen. And, you know, it's always been like that for me. So I always thought that that's what happened with everybody. You know, everybody would have extra doctors come in and take a look at them. Everybody would have extra doctors come in and want to listen to their heart and have you breathe and do this and do that. I just thought everybody did that. Didn't realize not every child had to endure at least 5 doctors for every doctor visit. You know, not every child had to go through that. Not every child had to sit and have different people touching them and listening to their heart and, you know, then saying, oh wow, I can't blah 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 and da 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 da. I just thought every kid had to go through that because that was my normal. You know, I didn't know any different. I never went with my brother to any of his doctor's appointments. Granted, he never went with me to any of mine either, but still it was my normal. As I got older and, you know, was able to, when I would go to the doctor and they would say, do you mind if they would ask me instead of asking my mom. They would always ask my mom or my grandma, whoever was with me for that appointment. They would always ask them, is it okay if we bring in so-and-so so that they can take a listen or whatever. As I got older, more like 17, then it was, they would ask me. That was also after I'd lost my mom. So, of course, they were already told of the history. When my godmother would make my appointment, they would know that my mom wasn't around anymore, you know, that she had passed away and that she was taking care of me and I was on my godfather's insurance. So I would go to the doctor and they would say, Miss Michelle, do you mind if we bring in some other teaching or some other doctors? Because it was always a teaching hospital. Or, you know, they would have residents there doing rounds or what have you. And they would always say, do you mind if we have this person come in and listen? You know, your heart is special. So I never got told that until I was older. And I was like, what do you mean? It's the same heart I've always had. And I sound very manly right now, so I want to apologize for that. One moment. Okay, my phone was dying. I had to plug it in. I think the primer's probably dry now. So, you know, as I got older, it was more of my decision if it was okay. And I don't think I ever really told anyone no. Because, you know, that first doctor that I saw when I was 17, the first person that ever asked me, you know, made it sound like, you know, nobody else in the world has the issue that I have. I know that there are other people that have had coarctations. I am sure that there are children that have had to have it earlier than I had. You know, and I'm sure that, hell, they probably do it while the baby's still inside you. I don't know. I just know that back in 1980 when I had mine done, it was not common. Let me find a lip and I'll be right back. Okay, so, you know, that's just how I thought normal was. So I always thought that, you know, my heart issue was nothing that was different than anyone else until I got older. I mean, I knew that I was treated differently when I was younger, you know, wasn't allowed to do certain things and that sort of thing, but I guess I never really equated it to me being different. I did feel left out a lot. I felt left out, but you know, you learn and you grow. So let me think here. So after the age of 17, I didn't really, you know, once I turned 18 and, you know, had my wild time, I didn't really see doctors on a regular basis until I got pregnant with my son. And we'll pick up that in the next video. What I have on my lips is going to be this e.l.f. My eyes are watering. e.l.f. Lip pencil or lip crayon in wine, and then over top I put this Juvia's Place It's Electric just to add a little shimmer because this is a matte color. So far so good. You know, the look is okay other than my eyes watering like nobody's business. I like this eye better than this eye, but I think these two are probably my favorites. The first two I didn't like at all. I also it was the first time I had put on makeup other than for the RBSG collab, and those are always a specific look is what I'm going for. You know, when I spin the wheel and I get a palette, I have usually, by the time I get my base makeup on, to figure out what I'm going to do with the palette. And when I got this one, I was concerned because there are so many shades in this palette that I didn't think I would be able to do it justice. But I think these final looks, I think I'm back in my rhythm. So you're going to see these looks in some upcoming videos because I got my Ipsy and I'm going to do an unboxing. Plus I got some other things, and those will be separate videos as well. Stay tuned. Make sure you have your notification bell on so you get notified when I upload those videos. And hopefully you didn't get tired of seeing my face this week. So as always, please make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you've not already. Ring that notification bell so you're notified of each and every upload. And leave me a sweet, sweet comment down below. I greatly appreciate it, just like I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Bye.